siku ya leo, na ni siku ambayo pia tutakuwa tunaangazia swala la uzazi wa mpango. Mtazamaji, je, ni umri gani ambao labda sehemu mbalimbali zimeweza kuhusika vijana na pia wanawake ambao wameolewa? Na je, ni njia zipi ambazo zinatumika sana siku hizi katika uzazi wa mpango? Utaweza kuchangia hili kupitia @nicholas_HKT News na #leo mashinani pale kwenye Twitter. Kisha ni jumbe ambazo tutakuwa tunasoma kabla ya kukamilisha taarifa zetu, na pia mwelekezi wangu atakuwa anakufungulia njia za simu kuweza kuwasiliana nasi moja kwa moja kuhusiana na hili swala, vile vile na kufahamisha kwa tuna wageni wetu usiku wale ambao tutakuwa tunafika hapa mbele na kuweza kuchanganua hili kindani na kujua labda kutoka upande wa taaluma ni wapi ambapo tulipo. Mtazamaji, ni haya na mengine mengi, lakini kwanza kabisa hebu tupate vidokezo.
Tafadhali tusaidiane. Ikiwa mtoto amebakwa, hiyo case lazima iende kwa polisi.
Viongozi wataka wahusika katika ndoa za mapema na ubakaji kukamata moja huko Lamu.
Tabia ya wizi kukithiri katika eneo letu limeibuka sana, na kwa mwezi mmoja sasa tumepoteza pikipiki 4.
Taharuki miongoni mwa waendeshaji bodaboda katika kaunti ya Machakos kufuatia ongezeko la visa vya wizi wa pikipiki. Hofu ya tanda nchini Tanzania baada ya mkurupuko wa Ebola katika nchi jirani ya Jamhuri ya Demokrasia ya Kongo. Na kwenye leo mashinani tunazungumzia ripoti ya uzazi wa mpango iliyozinduliwa hapo jana na umuhimu wake katika maendeleo. Naam, karibu mtazamaji, na jina langu ni Nicholas Wambua. Hebu tuanze moja kwa moja pale bungeni ambapo Lilian Mbogo aliyekuwa mkurugenzi wa vijana katika ili shirika la huduma kwa vijana NYS sasa hivi yuko mbele ya kamati ya bunge ya wahasibu. Hebu tusikize wanayo ya kusema.
A copy of this register has been provided to the auditors for audit review in Appendix 5. Now, with respect to Roman 2, it is true payment vouchers and supporting documents for amounts totaling Kenya shillings 831,968,731 shillings and 35 cents were seized by investigating agencies and were therefore not made available for audit review. The vouchers are still with investigating agencies. And Honorable Chairman, that schedule totaling to 813,968,731 and 35 cents is shown overleaf with 16 items which are detailed there. Now, on Roman 3, I read the response. In view of the it is true that the accuracy, validity, and propriety of the expenditure amounting to Kenya shillings is 6,084,045,535 cannot be confirmed. However, once the fixed register figure for public service and youth affairs is obtained, the accuracy, validity, and propriety of this expenditure will be confirmed. Honorable Chair, those are the responses that we compiled.
Now, Dr. Muya, listening to the responses, really, one is left wondering where this world is heading to. Because these are reports for accounts of 2014-15. And here we are in 2018. You are still talking of compiling the asset register, which in your own words you are saying will be complete in due course. God knows when. There's a lot of casualness in the manner in which the responses are being made. But more importantly, I think we need to be clear as a committee. Who was the actual accounting officer during this period, both at the ministry and at the NYS? Because our duty here is to assign culpability, to assign responsibility to specific individuals. We don't want these generalities.
The accounting officer then, Mr. Chairperson, was PS Mangiti, Peter.
Peter Mangiti.
Peter Mangiti. He was the PS in charge.
Yes.
And the AIE holder for the entire accounts of NYS was the Director General then, Dr. Nelson Githinji.
PS Mangiti was the accounting officer.
Yes.
And the AIE holder was Dr. Nelson Githinji. And who was the cabinet secretary at that time?
The cabinet secretary then was Madam Anne Waiguru.
Madam Anne Waiguru.
Yes.
Because we are talking about a situation where about Kenya shillings 17 billion, to be exact 17.5 billion, is unaccounted for 4 or so years down the line. And there seems to be no attempt whatsoever on the part of those who are responsible then or even now to try to account for this money, public money. Otherwise, members. Honorable Nyoro.
Thank you, Chair. I'd want to know from the DG and the PS whether, as we talk, NYS has an asset register, updated asset register. And number two, because I have seen the kind of money we are talking about, and I'm sure that is why my colleague was confused, whether we are talking about 2 different tiers, is that you do a lot of purchases for machinery. And as you do so, I would want to know, because over the years, especially the recent years, NYS has been receiving quite a good amount of money in our budget. I would want to know from your experience whether you think NYS has the capacity to absorb the kind of budget that we give. And number two, also on your priorities, because I can see a lot of purchases for machinery. The core business of NYS, and that is why I believe there is a why in between, is to look at the welfare of the youth. But even simple matters, Chair, even beyond this matter, is that we saw some youth last year in some cohorts around the country, even in our constituencies, who are yet to be paid money that could qualify only as peanuts as compared to the amount of money we are dealing with here. What necessitates such? And number two, all these purchases, are they either driven because of entrepreneurs and of course the rogue officials within NYS, or is there demand for this kind of purchases?
Honorable Korea Kimani.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In line with this, I would like the direction of Mr. Chair. The Public Accounts Committee is mandated by the people to investigate all these matters. So when we're not able to peruse through these documents because they are held by investigating agencies since 2015, yes, that is 3 years later, then could it possibly be that these investigating agencies are deliberately holding these items so that they're not available to the public? Yeah. Because if any document is available to Public Accounts Committee, that is a public document. Any Kenyan out there can come and ask to see that document. These meetings are recorded, and that record is available. But when these documents go to these investigating agencies, I cannot go to the office of the CID and ask, I want to see the file about NYS. So could it be then that they are, it's a deliberate effort? And to the accounting officers, to the officers here with us today, what is the problem with NYS? A brilliant program for the youth, but every year, the same story. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and I'm certain maybe next financial year, we'll still have figures in terms of billion missing out. Is it because the money for the youth is so easy to steal, and like money for the others? What is the exact problem, and what do we think is the solution to these matters?
Honorable Otiende.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the audit query for 2014, 2015, and 2015-2016 is clear. That in 2014-2015, 11.4 billion was spent in such a way that the auditor cannot ascertain that it was properly spent in terms of acquisition of assets. And in the subsequent year, rather than us having a situation where now there's no longer such a query, we still have another 6 billion. And cumulatively, therefore, you are talking of 17.5 billion, yes, which the auditor is unable to ascertain? The answer given by the accounting officers is very simple and clear. Yes, it is true we did not give these documents, but we did not because the investigating agencies took away the documents. In response to your question, the accounting officers have identified those who are responsible then.
Yes.
The PS, the DG, and the CS. We should take judicial notice one, Mr. Chairman, that the DG then and the PS then were tried and have since been acquitted. That is information I think is available to all of us.
Yeah.
We should take judicial notice that we are talking about 5 years down the line. And clearly, and I hope I support Honorable Kuria, we might be seeing a situation where the investigating agencies themselves are frustrating investigations by withholding documents so that the Auditor General cannot ascertain. I suggest that for purposes of this query, these accounting officers will not be useful to us. What we need to do, Mr. Chairman, I submit, that we need to invoke Article 125 of the Constitution. This is a rare situation where we now need to summon ESCC, DCI, and BFIU. I do not know which unit that is. Banking fraud. Because they are now holding documents that are stopping the auditor from assessing and doing his work, and it's not useful to them. I think we should summon them to bring those documents so that they can be availed to the auditors. But second, Mr. Chairman, I think we are in a situation of merry-go-round, where by the time we are making these questions, the accounting officers will long have left. Like now, that's 5 years down the line. So that the matters are not current. It would be interesting to find a way of asking the current accounting officers to tell us what they are doing in similar circumstances, in similar matters that are topical today.
Fair enough. Last two questions, then we will respond all together. Honorable Iseli and Honorable Florence Mutua. Okay. Just proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just to further the question that has been asked about the documents that are with the investigating agencies. And mine is to find out what the ministry has done to date. Have you written letters? Did you have copies? So are we just going to sit and wait and keep on saying the same response that it's investigating agencies that have the documents? Do you have anything in writing to show really that you have been really asking for these documents so that we can conclude such cases? Because this is a lot of money for the investigating agencies just to be holding documents. And as it has been said, maybe they're just holding on to those documents so that this case is never solved.
Honorable Seli, finally.
Chair, I noticed that in the response for 2016, you have said there's an appendix that you created an asset register totaling 4,578,969,010 shillings and 35 cents. And you're going to say that you have attached, you've forwarded to the auditors, and you have attached as Appendix 5. But when you go to Appendix 5, it doesn't look like an asset register. Then I think that will do for now.
I'm sure you can see the Appendix 5. I wanted to restrict it to Honorable Seli, but I will allow you, Honorable Ono, to ask the very, very final question on this matter.
Yes, the PS enumerated how they completed a project, Mr. Chairman, at Gilgil, which had stalled for many years. I just wanted to ask whether these 17 billion bought us in any way, the way the stall project of 30 years actually bought us.
Please respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson and the members. Yes, it does bother us, the issues of the asset registers, the issues of money that cannot be accounted. And I'm pleased to inform you, Mr. Chairperson, that the first full financial year that has been audited when I am the accounting officer responsible for NYS matters, on the issues of the asset register, we have been able to work with the Office of the Auditor General to really provide an asset register. One of the remedial measures we took when we came to office because of that issue of the asset register was to bring on board a project and financial management agency to assist us as NYS. And we procured through an open tender the PricewaterhouseCoopers, and one of their core responsibilities was to take a complete audit of all the assets of the National Youth Service, an exercise that we have completed, an exercise that we have gone through with the auditors, and I'm very pleased to inform you, Mr. Chairperson, that we have received the certified audit report for the financial year 2016-2017. We received it on the 8th of May, that's about 2 weeks ago, and the matter of the asset register has been resolved. On issues of
before we leave that one,
sorry,
because you raised a very fundamental issue. You are saying that the financial audit.
Yes, the financial audit, the certified audit
by the Auditor General.
By the Office of the Auditor General is
at the time when you have been in office.
We have received
You have been given a clean bill of health.
Yes, in general, on most issues touching on NYS.
Do you have a copy of that report?
Yes, we have carried with us the official reports, both the full copy and excerpts, which we can share with you,
Honourable members, it will be interesting to see that report.
Yes.
As you know, our Parliament is yet to officially, not really to officially receive, that report is yet to be tabled on the floor of the House. But if you have it, and it is duly certified,
we do have it,
duly authenticated.
We received it on the 8th of May, officially from the Office of the Auditor General, and on the issues touching on documents that were with the investigating agencies. We did write to all the investigating agencies together with the auditors.
Go slowly, Madam Omodo.
Okay.
Yes, let's deal with this matter first.
Okay.
Yes. So if you have that report,
we do.
Just one. Kindly table it.
We do have the reports.
For us to verify its authenticity.
Point of order.
Go on.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, with all due respect to the PS, I'm just wondering, has the government policy reversed that Auditor General reports are tabled first in Parliament, or they go to the Ministry first?
No, they usually go at the same time. That's a management response. What I did say is that, to our knowledge, that report is yet to be tabled on the floor of the House. It doesn't necessarily mean that it hasn't been received by Parliament. Perhaps it is somewhere within the Parliament presence, but on the floor of the House, it is yet to be tabled. That doesn't stop us from seeing what you have. I hope you have many copies.
We have 10 copies of
that will be very interesting. Yes, Sergeant at Arms, kindly bring them forward.
We have given we have handed them over to the sergeant at arms just to receive them.
For what?
Yes, asked for them.
I thought you were taking them away.
10 copies, no.
We want them right here.
Give me the experts.
Yeah. And by the way, even
Chairperson,
yes,
I wish to also inform we had also done an excerpt of the part that raises the core issues, which we'll also share. That's the full report assigned by the Auditor General, and we have also just made excerpts of what is for quick reference, if you wish.
Fine.
Thank you.
But even as you do that, we have the advantage of having amongst us the Office of the Auditor General.
Yes.
They could actually confirm what you are saying. Yeah, please go ahead. Is this the authenticated copy of the report that you have issued out? Yes. Yes, Honorable Kimani Kuria. Oh, okay. Where are the excerpts?
The excerpts are several.
Yeah, let them come. Let them be brought. We need them here. And could you point to us at the exact paragraph where you are being exonerated, where you are being given a clean bill of health? Yes.
Make reference to the main letter from the Auditor General.
Okay.
That's the letter that is in blue. The rest is the financial statement and the accompanying paperwork. But if you have the excerpt or the blue pages, it would be page 1 of the excerpt.
I am waiting to hear from the Auditor General. Please go ahead.
Oh, confirm. Sorry.
Yes, that is the report.
Please speak louder.
I'm saying that is the report, even though the copy we have been given does not have the page for the certificate, the seal.
Is this the seal?
It's the main report.
That is true.
It is true? Yeah. This is your report? So, Madam Omolo, kindly read for us the paragraphs that you think are relevant.
I'd wish to request through you, Mr. Chairperson, if you could turn with me to page 1.
Of the main report?
Of the, whether you've used the excerpt, it's easier for just ease of preference.
Okay.
After where you have the seal, you have the second page, the third page, which is the first blue page, reports on the financial statements. The reports on the financial statements, if we're all there, I will read the second paragraph from the Auditor General. In my opinion, except for the effects of the matters described in the basis for qualified opinion section of my report, the financial statements present fairly in all material aspects the financial position of the State Department of Public Service and Youth as at June 30th, 2017, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, cash basis, and comply with Public Financial Management Act. In addition, as required by Article 229(6) of the Constitution, based on the audit procedures performed, I confirm that nothing has come to my attention to cause me to believe that public money has not been applied lawfully and in an effective manner. I wish to further read page 7 of the same report. Page 7 is where the auditor raises on whether there are key issues, key audit matters to concern being raised to the public or to the National Assembly. And on the key audit matters, it reads, key audit matters are those matters that, in my professional judgment, are of most significance in the audit of the financial statements. Except for the matter described in the basis for qualified opinion section, I have determined that there are no key audit matters to communicate in my report. Mr. Chairperson, I wish to let you know that the situation that we inherited in NYS when we took office, for myself on the 18th of December 2015, and for the Director General NYS in January, was one of absolute confusion in all matters relating to procurement and financial statements of the institution. We have worked very hard together with PricewaterhouseCoopers to streamline the operations of this institution. And it is on that basis that we were able to develop the asset register. We've been across the entire country to all the NYS stations, 27 of them, to ensure that we know what NYS has, what it does not have. We inherited, which is part of what is in the audit report, bills. We inherited payments that are owed to servicemen and women dating back to 3 years, which we have paid in full and certified by the Auditor General. We have inherited with us payments for SACCO money owed to young people, which we have made sure has been remitted and paid in full, and the issues are raised, which I will take you through with your permission, Chairperson. And I believe that on all matters of investigation, which we have gone through more than 151 investigations between January 2016 to date, we have taken a record of every single copy of documentation carried by the investigators, When the auditors came and they raised the issues of the previous years, we wrote to EACC, we wrote to DCI, the auditors were able to go there physically, peruse through the documents, and be able to take a statement on what the status of all of those issues were. And I believe that that is part of the reason why we are able to reduce the bulk of the issues that would be in question in the report of the Auditor General. Thank you, sir.
You are painting a picture of a department which has undergone serious transformation under your leadership.
Extreme transformation.
That really contrasts what we are reading in the media or hearing in the grapevine. Could you make a comment on this?
Mr. Chairperson, with your permission, again, I will wish to request your indulgence because I have prepared a statement on the matter that is of public interest, and at the appropriate time, with your permission, I'd like to present that separately.
Honorable Nyoro, then we can come to that, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. And I think because most Kenyans are watching, they are watching in amazement and even confusion. Because PS, you cannot come and tell the public of Kenya that NYS is clean when we have seen some people go to DCI and actually make allegations, actually confirming, not even allegations, that we have paid Kenya shilling 60 million for supplying air to NYS. And on that case, Madam PS, if NYS is as clean as you claim, then I would want to know what DPP, DCI, and all the other investigative authorities are doing in your organization. Is it a fishing expedition? Are they there to waste taxpayers' time? Because I believe they zeroed in at NYS for a reason. Then as you claim that you have done payments, you have cleared many pending bills, etc. Checking even the current audited reports from the Auditor General, I can see unpaid bills of over Kenya shillings 2 billion. And actually scrutinizing those unpaid bills, and even for the previous years, I can see many abnormalities. Because I have seen the companies that are limited companies, you have duly listed them as limited companies. But I can see a lot of dealings in terms of millions of money by business names. I've just seen one, I think Anyway, just a business name, doing business worth over Kenya shilling 60 million as a business name. And then lastly, Chair, I have to make this comment because beyond being a member of parliament, some of us are also youth. And we are paining Madam PS when we see headlines every day about NYS, because these questions ultimately come to us as members of parliament. You have claimed you have paid service officers. I'd want to know which category cohorts fall under NYS, because to my understanding, even my cohorts in Kiharu are not paid money that is over 8 months old. And Chair, lastly, I have to say that we have to take this matter with the seriousness it deserves. And I'm talking this as a Jubilee member of parliament. When hardship came, it never came to insulate any officer, whatever their name or position, from the consequences of stealing public money. And therefore, Madam PS, as you address this matter, be specific, because I can see you are treating us with a lot of generalities. We ask a direct question, you go to Gilgil. Be specific on matters raised so that we can answer the many overwhelming questions with the youth of Kenya. Because this is the most fair way, Madam PS. If the youth of Kenya are to come for their money from the people who stole their money, I think it would be more chaotic. Therefore, be specific and tell us the truth about where the money of the youth is.
Okay, as she responds, I want to give this guidance. I want us to deal with conclusively with the matter of paragraph 285 and paragraph 115. And then we move to the next logical paragraph where most of these issues actually reside. If you indulge me, we allow her to. Yes. Yes. The last question on the paragraph on acquisition of assets, Honorable Otiende. Then Madam PS will respond, and we shall proceed to the next paragraph. And even as you do so, members, let us take note of the fact that even though this report for 2016-17 has been tabled by Madam PS, we are not yet examining it, the accounts, okay? So we just make reference to it as a way of understanding the issues that have been highlighted in the previous report here. Yes, Honorable Kimani.
Even looking at the document that have been presented to us, can we get direction where that asset register is? The asset register.
In the report or elsewhere?
Elsewhere.
Yes, she will respond to that, yes. Please, go ahead. Okay, Honorable Tini, sorry.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I think that this is a logical continuation to the paragraphs we were examining.
Yes.
Because my understanding of the response by the PS is that, yes, in the examination of the financial years in issue, it was chaotic.
Yes.
But now it has been remedied. And the presentation of these accounts is an example of that remedy. So I think in the course of the answer, Mr. Chairman, it would be good for the PS to go to paragraph 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the current one, which also mentions the question of acquisition of assets, just to demonstrate that the problem that existed in those two financial years don't exist now, as she was saying. But as we come to that, and this is the second limb, Mr. Chairman, as directed by yourself, and it is true, that these accounts have not been tabled before the House. But the examination of this committee always proceeds on two limbs. One is examination of the accounts after they are tabled in the House and forwarded to us. But the second limb, which is not always dependent on the first, is examining the prudent use of public resources. And to that extent, Mr. Chairman, I believe we can look at this report in terms of prudent use of public resources, even pending it being tabled in the House. Now, in that respect, one thing intrigues me, and on this, I share with Honorable Nyoro, and I really invite the PS's comment on this, and actually also the Auditor General. The Auditor General's report for 2016-2017 says in paragraph 3 that in addition, as required by Article 229(6) of the Constitution, based on the audit procedures performed, I confirm that nothing has come to my attention to cause me to believe that public money has not been applied lawfully and in an effective way. The auditor is concluding that there is no money at all that has been imprudently used. And that's the second limb of our usual jurisdiction. Now, Mr. Chairman, it intrigues me because it's in the public domain that there's an allegation that the 9 billion is missing for this financial year. Could the Office of the Auditor General perhaps comment on whether they could have missed out on 9 billion and say that everything is in order? And could the PS also comment on this? Because I am a bit lost now.
Well, I'll give directive again. Honorable members, the Auditor General will not respond to anything outside their report. That is one. And again, we do not want them to comment on the 2016-17 report as yet. But the PS is at liberty to say anything under the sun that she thinks can be useful to this committee to make a considered determination. Yes.
Mr. Chairperson, on the issue of the asset register, like I have mentioned, we have tried to the best of our ability, together with PricewaterhouseCoopers, to ensure that the register is a correct reflection of the assets of the institution. And I am sure that will be addressed by the Auditor General's office when they present the accounts of 2016-17, and that for us, we thought was a great improvement from the previous years, because we were looking at what are the recommendations from the previous audits and what were the core issues. On the issue of payments to cohorts, Mr. Chairperson, we are in 253 constituencies where we had cohorts who are working under the National Service Program. We have paid for almost all the constituencies with the exception of 14 constituencies. Mr. Chairperson, at a different sitting when we are ready with the response, we would be able to present to you the reasons why money has not been paid to cohorts, but generally, money has been paid to a majority of the cohorts. We have reconciled accounts of all the SACCO savings, which is in the report of the Auditor General, which I would like to call our attention to in the audit report for 2016-17, on the same parts where I was making reference, on the NYS Huduma cohorts accounts. Page 2 of the blue pages, page 2 of the blue pages, on the NYS Huduma cohorts account, which is held at National Bank, the Auditor General says that the bank balance of 885 million as at 30th June 2017 reflected in the financial statements includes NYS Huduma cohorts bank account held at National Bank of Kenya with a bank balance of 442,890,667. This balance represents the savings by youth who are working on the Youth Empowerment Program, and although the cash book, bank balance certificate, bank reconciliation statements, and Board of Survey report were provided for audit verification, it has not been possible to confirm adequacy of the balance to cover liability as declared in Note 11 to the financial statements, as no detailed listings were provided in support of the balance of this amount of money. Now, what this means, Mr. Chairperson, is that we can confirm where cohorts have saved their money, and as at today, we have paid savings of more than 3.5 billion to young people across the country. These are circles that are not fully formed. Their money is safely with us. The auditor confirms that the reconciliations of the bank are correct. A bank certificate has been issued confirming the money is there. They further confirm that even the Board of Survey report is there to confirm the money is there. It's only that they wonder if we take on more people, will that money be sufficient to cover the liability of more young people? And it's based on that that we have stalled the cohort program from January of this year. So in terms of why have we not paid certain constituencies, the 13 of them, we have good reasons. We have issues. There was procedure on how a SACCO must be formed. There is the number of months that SACCO must have operated. They must have a management team that has been selected by the young people. They must be certified by the cooperative officer. If that is not done, we are not able to remit to them their money. There are rules and procedures of how they access their money. And for those 13 constituencies, Mr. Chairperson, at a different sitting and under the separate cover, we will be able to submit our report on that.
Come back to the register.
The asset register,
in relation to,
said, again, going
report.
by the report of the Auditor General, which for us is the basis of us being able to evaluate our performance in terms of the accounting and financial procedures, there is no mention of the issue of now the asset register really being a problem, because we were able to present to them the register that we have put together with PricewaterhouseCoopers. There before, Mr. Chairperson, assets of NYS, the equipment, the machinery, they were not even tagged. That has all been done, and that is the basis on which I think it is no longer really a qualification in the audit report. Had there been an issue established by the auditors, I believe, and I worked very closely with the audit team to be able to understand all the issues and all the solutions that we had been able to put in place, I believe the issue of the asset register would be in this audit report.
Proceed.
On the issue of whether money has been lost, Mr. Chairperson.
Now let's agree we are done with the asset register paragraph, okay? That we move logically.
Okay.
We are done, members, with the asset register matter. So can you therefore, yes, Dr. Muya.
Thank you, Chair. There was a question, if you permit me, asked about Appendix 5.
A clarification, being done with doesn't mean being resolved. Okay, members? Yes. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, there was a question that was asked about what is in the report in Appendix 5. And in Appendix 5, what was going to be put there is a big document that could not fit there. So we've carried it physically. That is the portion of the asset register from the planning department specifically, accounting for...
And when you carry it and you don't submit it to us, so how does it help us? Do you have copies?
Well, yeah, that had been submitted to the chair, to the auditors over a year ago.
No, to this committee. Do you have copies of that asset register? Dr. Muya.
Thank you, Chair. We have 4 copies, no, 5 actually.
And can the auditor confirm having seen it in respect to financial year 2014-15 and 2015-16? Please go ahead, Madam Kariuki.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I need to see this specific document because several documents have been submitted to us.
Yeah.
So maybe they should submit this document to us.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Please pass it over to them.
Hello, sir.
Are you done, Honorable Dr. Muya? Okay.
Na mtazamaji, hiyo hapo ni kamati ya bunge ya uhasibu kimsikiza Lilian Mbogo ambaye ni mkurugenzi wa vijana ama alikuwa mkurugenzi wa vijana katika ile shirika la huduma kwa vijana NYS ukipenda, ambapo zaidi ya milioni 9 zimepotea. Mtazamaji, bilioni 9 zimeweza kupotea katika NYS. Mtazamaji, basi wanazidi kubaini ni yapi ambayo yalijiri na kuweza kuwasikiza baadhi ya maafisa kutoka tume ya NYS hapo. Basi ni taarifa ambazo tunazidi kuzifuatizia mtazamaji. Kando na hili kutoka bunge mtazamaji, kuna taarifa nyingi ambazo tumekuandalia siku ya leo kama nilivyokuarifu, na hivyo basi ikiwa ni saa 5:43 ningependa kifupi tupate mapumziko, lakini basi tutarudi na tukupashe mengi zaidi yanayojiri siku ya leo. Usiende mbali.